first thing that you want to do is gather the following items that are listed here, which is your most recent pay stub, your monthly recurring bills, such as phone and internet, your most recent credit card statements, your most recent loan statements, and your most recent bank statement. Also, just keep in mind if you're not savvy with Excel formulas, you don't want to manipulate certain items in this budget template. That's because it will end up messing up some of the formulas. And those would be the 5 highlighted debt rows, which I'll show you in a few seconds, and also the running totals of savings, which is on the bottom of each of the monthly tabs. When you start working on your budget, you want to start in the month that's applicable. So, say if you're not starting your budget until October, then the tab at the bottom of the screen here that you want to start in is October. We're starting in January because it is the month of January, and I'm assuming that you'll be starting your budget at the beginning of the year. So, with the pay stub that you gathered, you want to write your net income on this salary row here. So this example, this person makes $2,000 per check, so they put $2,000 in the salary column, and they also get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. So the check dates are 1/15 and 1/31. Now, if you get paid every other week or some other time frame where you might end up getting 3 checks in a month, this check date number 3 column is what you can use for that third check. So using the statements that you gathered, you want to populate the allocation section with your monthly bills. And you also want to make sure that you write the due date and the amount that's due. So for example, you see that this cell phone bill in the amount of $125 is due on the 27th. You want to do that so that you know what column to write the amount in. So for example, because this 125 is due on the 27th, you want to take it out of the check that comes on the 15th so that it gets paid on time. If you were to wait until the January 31st check, that bill will already be past due. And if you have any monthly subscriptions like Netflix, Spotify, things like that, make sure that you write it on this tab also, so that nothing falls through the cracks, because you don't want to think that you've allocated all your bills and then you forgot that there was this Netflix charge or something like that that ends up giving you an overdraft. So you want to make sure that you represent all of your monthly bills that come out of your bank account on this monthly tab here. Specifically for your credit card bills, just write the minimum balance that's due for now, not the full balance, but just write the minimum that you would need to pay. Something quick that I wanted to note in case it's helpful for you is, see this rent and more slash mortgage, the $1,250 that's due on the first. To lighten the load so that it's not coming out of one check, I just divided the $1,250 by 2 so that you're only taking half out of it from each check, and then you're still able to pay it by the first. So you're taking $625 out on the 15th and the 31st and holding that until it's actually due. It may be easy for you to take out a portion of what's due out of each check, just to make sure that it's due on time and also not to overburden yourself. So after you populate all of your monthly expenses, this was the part that I was talking about in my podcast where I said that once I entered down everything that I owed, I saw that I had a lot of money left on the table that I did not realize. So for this example, they bring in $2,000 per check, and after their allocations, the mandatory allocations, they still have $795 left to use during between this paycheck and the next one. Now, this is the fun part where I said the creativity comes in, because you decide how you want to allocate the remaining income. And what I do with my budget is that I make sure that the remaining income is zero. So whether that's going to something like clothing or whether it's going to a savings goal, I just want to make sure that I have made a decision for where every penny of my money should go. So I'll leave this part up to you to kind of divvy your money out how you would like to use it. I can put some sample numbers in for now. So we'll just say this person is going to spend $100 on clothing, maybe $150 on groceries, $100 on entertainment, $100 on dining out, $100 on transportation, and after that they still have $245 left. So they can decide to maybe invest some money. Maybe they want to tithe. Maybe they have a savings goal that's coming up, and they can split up the rest of that 245 however they would like to do that. The final thing that I want to point out to you are the savings goals. Remember, I told you not to delete those rows because they link to somewhere else. I'll show you what it does. So say that you want to save up for a trip to Mexico and you want to put aside $100 per check. So you can change this savings goal number 1 to Mexico so that you remember what you're saving for. Once you do that, you see that down here, the name here changed to Mexico also. And then you want to put 100 per check, right? So you put 100 here, and now this is telling you, remember this is the running total. So it's saying that as of this January 15th check, the amount that you saved for this Mexico trip is $100. And then you want to take 100 out per check, remember? So when you take it also out of the January 31st check, you now see that the running total as of the January 1st check for your savings for Mexico is now $200. So it links to whatever you put up here. That's why I said don't delete it, because it's a nice way for you to keep track of all of your savings goals in one place. So I encourage you to play around with how you would like to allocate your money. And then once you're done, well, let me first allocate the remaining income here. We'll put 50 per check to investments. And then perhaps instead of paying the minimum balance of 25, I will instead pay 120 because maybe getting the credit card paid is important to me. And so now the remaining income is 0. And then maybe for that second check, I want to give 100 to St. Jude. So I'll put that here. And then maybe I want to buy some extra clothes. So instead of 100, I'll do 150. Or maybe actually instead of that 100, I want to accelerate my savings for the Mexico trip. So instead of that amount, I'll change it to 245. And then now the remaining income is 0, and I've allocated the full 2,000 that I've earned in that check. So play around with the numbers, and then once you're done with a budget that you like, what you want to do is copy and paste to the remaining monthly tab. So this is just your initial projection of how you think you want to spend your money per check for the year. Now I'm going to tell you specifically what sections to copy so that no formulas are thrown off. You want to start in this box where it says salary, and then you want to copy over down to emergency fund. So you only want to copy this section. So you can right or left click and do copy, or press Control C to copy, and then we can go to February. And on the February tab, you're going to click in the salary box, and then you're going to paste or Control V to copy everything over. So you can do this, and then you'll see it matches everything on the January tab. All you're going to do in future is update the amount for your check dates and if there are any changes in your income. So you can go and do that for the remaining tabs, March, April, May, and so on and so forth.